Happy Thursday! Oh, this video, or rather I should say pod, is going to be one of those things that you want to stay here through the entire pod, because not only are you going to feel better about yourself, because right now I'm having an absolutely terrible morning. Oh yeah, absolutely. From stubbing my finger, I don't know if you can see this or not, there's a band-aid on here, to having to drink a electrolyte powder drink. No, this is not lemonade. This is just filled with electrolytes. I'm having a terrible morning, so I am praying and hoping that everyone out there is having a great, wonderful Thursday. This podcast, episode 14 that we are on now, is going to be primarily talking about a potential great reset that is going to come on RuneScape, or has probably already happened, where we've actually gone through many resets on RuneScape over the years. And if you want to see all the previous episodes to this podcast series, link is down below, not to mention all my links, my Discord, social media links, you name it. Everything is down below. But really quickly on the screen, before we talk about why I'm having such a terrible Thursday morning, like I said, we started this series out, and hopefully you all are enjoying it, and we've gained quite a few new subscribers along the way as well. But if you are enjoying this series, definitely smash the like button, definitely subscribe. If you're not subscribed, make sure to turn on the notification bell, because if you don't, well then I will pretty much fade away into Oblivion Land, and you will never see any of my new wonderful pods out there. But yeah, it's kind of remarkable that we are on episode 14 now, and I'm loving the journey so far. But before we dive into potentially the great another great reset, in my opinion, on RuneScape, let's talk about terrible NightmareRH morning. So firstly, I actually did get a new webcam. Yeah, it's pretty crazy, man. This is a high definition Logitech 920E. It was on sale. It was 40% off. 40% off. No, I'm not being sponsored by Logitech. I really should. I ended up smashing a lot of headsets years ago, but this thing is absolutely like super high definition. You can actually see all my gray hairs. Yes, I am fairly old, at the age of 36, and I'm having a terrible morning right now. I got to be in front of my laptop all this morning. It's all today working, probably late into the evening, so not going to have a very enjoyable day. I'm getting a whole bunch of eye strains, too. Probably just really pushing myself to the limit, which I do believe, but, anyways, I did some, light cardio yesterday in very humid and hot weather, and I really don't know what happened. I think it might be just it has to be a sodium issue. I didn't recharge. I actually had a salad last night, had a fairly decent protein shake, but I didn't actually have any animal protein, so I think that's primarily the issue. But yeah, I woke up this morning, I could not get out of bed. Typically, I'm out of bed at 5:30, 5:45, and I'm like, screw this. Just feel utterly drained. So if anyone can relate, maybe it's potentially, I'm pretty sure it's just a sodium issue, electrolyte issue. Probably not maybe a protein, but probably should have ripped up some chicken and put in my salad last night. But otherwise, yeah, I feel, it's not really, the greatest right now. But, I'm going to be playing around because this webcam did actually come with some tripods. Yeah, this is actually my laptop here. Nice. Don't worry. NightmareRH will upgrade. Oh, wrong side. I have had these headphones since 2015. They have been, like, repaired. Just like how I stubbed my finger. I don't even know how the hell that happened. I was coming inside my house from walking my dog, and I had my index finger on the outside of my door, and I used my other hand to pull the door shut. It didn't go very well. Woo! You want to talk about a old NightmareRH style scream? Oh yeah, that happened. So I have used self-aid. I've used, I want to say, buddy aid. I applied buddy aid on this thing, but these things are still working. I think the next thing to really upgrade is probably, yeah, the wireless headphones probably would be cool. Or maybe I should get like dual webcams. How cool is that? Maybe I should get like 2 of these things since they're still on sale. Yeah, we get like dual webcams. You guys can see me from different angles. But otherwise, I'm really enjoying this podcast series, and next month is going to be really crazy. There's going to be a lot of a lot of really big different style of content coming. I'll go ahead and hint drop some things. So I'm kind of really in a dilemma right now that I can't really upload my OG style content that you all love. And I just really don't have the time right now to live stream. I'm actually working on a couple other projects, a startup side business that I'm putting a lot of time into. Although that's probably going to be more so. I don't really want to use the word automated soon. I've been working on it for quite a bit of time now, but once it becomes like very audible and stuff, then I should have way more free time. That's primarily why my eyes are just being strained like you cannot imagine. Oh, it's absolutely terrible. But otherwise, yeah, I'm enjoying doing these long videos for you all. We're still putting together... Oh, back to what I was saying. So, I may have found a way to actually really still produce the style of content that you all, love and stuff. And we're going to really see, especially next month. Oh, man. It tastes like lemonade, but it's just really electrolytes. There's a lot happening next month, and it's going to be really good. And I honestly really can't wait. And I've been getting a tremendous amount of support from you all, especially with these pods, longer videos, which extremely grateful. But otherwise, yeah, the only really follow-on, and like I said, I was going to end up making today's video talking about something, or maybe I mentioned this, I honestly can't remember. I actually was going to talk about bank building mistakes that I've made over the years and people typically make when they are building their RuneScape bank. It doesn't matter if you think bank building is unpopular, because apparently bank building on RuneScape is a little unpopular these days. But if you are a raider, you obviously need a big bank to go and raid, you dingleberry. So in theory, you gotta build your bank. And if all you do is raid, then you're building your bank. But the aspect of like skilling and the aspect of like bank building for cosmetics and the social aspect is definitely not there anymore. I get it, whatever. I'm obviously stuck in 2009, but I actually was doing a update check, and I saw this posted by Jagex, and I'm like, yo, we gotta talk about this. So like I said, today's pod is going to be focusing on some crazy updates that are going to be happening. And are we in the midst of a new reset, a global reset on RuneScape? We gotta dissect this. On that note, check this out right here. Let's go ahead and make me make Nightmare Mini-Me. Oh yes, I'm a mini-me. By the way, if you use social media, I'm actually going to be revamping my channel a little bit. New banners, new everything, but I got to update that. Yeah, some of you are like, what's Twitter? Exactly. If you do use social media, definitely drop me a like on X, Facebook as well. The NightmareRH on Snapchat. Some bunghole took NightmareRH, so don't follow that one. Follow the NightmareRH. But so I was doing my morning routine, and I always always check the old school RuneScape social media, and I came across this, which is a little, shocking. 110 woodcutting and fletching will be releasing with a masterwork range weapon. Wow. So, going back to a video that I ended up making a couple months ago, actually, which did get quite a bit of views compared to the typical amount of analytics that I am getting per video and stuff here. Let's go ahead and move this over here. Oh yes, we are definitely like a raunchy style like podcast. Like this is definitely, sorry, but we don't edit very much around here. But then again, like, isn't that what like is the greatest thing about like a pod? Is that editing really like isn't one of those things that you can like or really is required. It's just all about the talking. And I do appreciate how a lot of you are sharing your experiences of when you are listening to this pod, such as on the toilet, at the gym, driving. Please be safe, or just doing something else. One dude pinged me on my Discord and said, "Yo, I'm currently mowing my lawn right now, listening to you." I'm like, yes. Oh. So if you are listening to me in a different style of a situation other than, I would say, at your computer, please let me know. Obviously, you don't have to stop driving or stop mowing your lawn or stop with a bowel movement, but definitely tell me if you are doing something other than just like at your computer screen. So this will be insane for RuneScape, right? 110 woodcutting obviously happened on RuneScape 3. Let's go ahead and go backwards. 110 mining happened on RS3, along with 110 smithing. So on RuneScape 3, let's go ahead and log on to RuneScape 3 right now. I am actually 110 smithing, and I have enough EXP for my daily key logins to probably this coming double EXP live. I should be able to bang out 110 mining. I'm not really going to be focusing around, getting 120 necromancy. That's a different beast of a story. But, yeah, so 110 mining, and this was, that was June 13th. That was, a couple months ago. But let me go ahead and pull up my RuneScape 3, skills right now. Okay, so I actually thought for some reason I was like 107 mining. But, okay. So on RuneScape 3 on my account, we got 104 mining. I may or may not be able to get to 110. Smithing, obviously, on 110. And what was the new ones that are coming out? So, you got fletching. Woo! There was a point in time, which I might actually make a pod talking about how I attempted, back in 2010, 200 million EXP in fletching. I ended up going from, like, 18 million EXP all the way up to like 140 mil EXP. And I ended up stopping, not because like the GP wasn't good. And this was 2010 and 11. I ended up stopping my fletching journey because Jagex nerfed some of the stuff. And the way that I would make money is I was actually stringing bows. So I would buy I would buy U longbows unstrung, and then I would buy bowstrings, but I would be putting in offers into the Grand Exchange like really under like the asking price. But I was very patient. And I would just be stockpiling these things and then do them like all in one route by binging movies. And I'd be making bank. I want to say by me getting 143 something million EXP, I ended up making probably about 500 mil. Now that is 500 mil, like you're talking like 13 years ago. That's a lot of GP. But I'm already going to be 110 fletching. Now wood cutting, yeah. Gotta do some wood chop, man. Oh man, gotta do some hardcore wood chop. There is no way that my hair is this gray. It has to be because of the lighting. Hang on one second. Let me see something here. Let me adjust some lighting. So I noticed that my green screen messes up a little bit. I gotta play around with this. I don't know, man. Trust me, my hair is not that gray. But looking at it right now, it's like, what the hell? Okay, so 110 wood chop, 110 fletching. That's going to be coming soon. It's really not a shocker, considering that the video that I made, Jagex said that, hey, we're going to be transitioning all these skills to 120. And it is worth it is worth a watch. And my opinion has not changed. This probably should have happened a very long time ago. And I'm actually a little shocked as to why they're doing 110s and not 120s. It would make more sense to put fletching at like 120, and it's just like there on RuneScape 3, for anyone who doesn't know, there are 120 capes that are cosmetics for 99s. So obviously right now fletching has a 120 cape, but it does not have the skills go to 120 to affect your total level. There is a cosmetic level that you can turn on, but I've said this years ago. I don't really know why Jagex is really lagging behind. So many people on RS3 is just so EXP heavy. It just really doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Not to mention RS3 is all about microtransactions. We really got to talk more about that. But yeah, it's you're talking 3 months. And Jagex did say, hey, we're going to be releasing, new integrating new stuff every, I think they actually said every 3-4 months. So this is really like no shocker to the RuneScape 3 community, at all. But otherwise, yeah, for RuneScape 3, this is something that is long overdue. In my personal opinion, should have been done a long time ago. And if you actually watch this video, which is pretty funny, years ago, I was making a bank video, and it was a weird glitch that ended up happening. The bank video was the video that I uploaded. Let's see. So June, yeah, what was that date? If you are watching on the screen, if you are just listening to me mowing your lawn or pooping, just showing some stuff right now. So I uploaded this video July 15th, 2010, and it was a bank video. And then the next video that I made, or rather the bank video was a couple days prior, and a lot of people noticed that in my bank video, there was like a weird glitch that ended up happening. and all the skills like went to like 120, which was very weird. Obviously, it was a JavaScript a glitch because this was pre RuneScape 3, and yeah, you're talking 2010. It's still using JavaScript. Obviously, it was a weird glitch. Obviously, or I mean, was it? Was it a hidden glitch? Woo! Was it one of those like things that would come eventually? Well, let's go down the list. What ended up, like, what did come eventually? Well, 120 Slayer happened on RuneScape 3. 120 Farming happened on RuneScape 3. 120 Herpaderp happened on RuneScape 3. 120 Dungeoneering. Oh, I know that was already 120. Yeah. So, I mean, some of these things did come true, man. I don't know. Oh, boy. However, now I really want to get into... Oh, so good. Oh, woo! Needed that. Now I actually really wanted to get into, from my personal opinions, why I feel that a great reset on this game has happened multiple different times. Hopefully this video doesn't get censored. I mean, I mean, it don't... Sure, you want to put a tinfoil hat on my head, go ahead, but, like, there are resets in every single thing you do in life. I probably reset my body last night. I probably drained all of the nutrients or all of the electrolytes out of my system. So in theory, I just reset my body. Or rather, I actually just reset my body right now by drinking some sodium, potassium, magnesium, and getting electrolytes into my body. So, in theory, resets are not necessarily a bad thing. You could be going down a bad path in your life, and you may need a reset, you know? Getting out of a bad friendship, bad romantic relationship, that's kind of like a reset, right? Hitting the reset button necessarily is not the bad thing. Obviously, there are terrible instances. Yes, we all know that. We all know them. However, I really do feel that RuneScape, and I did want to make a separate pod talking about this, kind of like how, like, you see this, because every single time RuneScape resets, you kind of really see, like, a wave, like a hype, kind of like a hype come back. But I think that's we're gonna, like, just dive into this a little bit, not fully, to really, you know, get into things here. But I really do feel that there are multiple times on this game where Jagex is basically pretty much pulled the plug and said, hey, we got to do kind of like a reset to the game in a way. And I kind of really thought about this for a little bit this morning before putting, you know, thoughts and ideas to, you know, to this episode. And I kind of really said, well, maybe transitioning to RuneScape Classic or from Classic to RuneScape 2, is that a reset? I don't really think so. And the reason being is because it was more so an upgrade, in my opinion, not really like a reset, because when you go from RuneScape Classic to RuneScape 2, you could transfer over your bank and character and like everything, right? There was really no, like, detrimental, like, effects. And RuneScape Classic was, still, like, happening. Very much it was still happening. However, I really do feel that this, right here, was the first reset on this game. Because there were so many negative and bad effects that really came to it. once again, if you are in my opinion, the Last of Us on this game, if you have played RuneScape before, let's see, before 26 November 2007, you are probably the Last of Us. RuneScape has gained a lot of new players over the years. That's a great thing. That's a good thing. We want new players to come to the game. Otherwise, the game we love is going to die. We don't want that. We want people coming. It's a really good thing. I honestly don't know why I had these in for the last 20 something minutes. I'm not listening. We're not playing music. I can actually hear myself better. So the Grand Exchange had a lot of negative effects. One, it came with the trade restriction on this game. Free trade. So, can we argue that the Grand Exchange was a positive thing? And then can we argue that the free trade was a negative thing? We could. But in my personal opinion, I think they're kind of linked together. And definitely when Jagex removed the trade limit, and for anyone who doesn't know what I'm talking about, there was a point in time, and Jagex made a trade limit. So if I keep the numbers simple, if I wanted to sell you a Bandos chestplate for 10 mil, I could not give it to you for 0 GP. I could only go down to 5% below asking, or whatever it was worth, and 5% above. You had to offer junk items or other items to boost up the price. It was terrible. The reason why Jagex did this is because they claimed that they were going bankrupt to all the gold farming off websites years ago, which, okay, I can sit here and toot my horn all day long and give my own personal opinion, but yeah, that could have really been a problem. Why didn't they go after all those off websites is something a little shocking. They probably definitely could have, instead of screwing up all the prices. But the Grand Exchange and the free trade being murdered really altered the game. My Red Halloween mask went from 45 mil down to 15 mil. A lot of items crashed. A lot of items went up, and it was kind of like a reset. A lot of people said screw this, and they left. They left the game. They gave away their bank. They're like, yo, honestly, just screw this. We're done. We're quitting. And this was the first time that you actually saw people really just give up on the game, which was definitely pretty remarkable. So, in my opinion, I really do feel that the first reset on the game was the Grand Exchange being installed. And it also was the Grand Exchange / the free trade. Now, the second great reset on RuneScape is really, in my opinion, Evolution of Combat. My YouTube channel, along with every RuneScape content creator channel, it was suffering. Suffering. 20 November 2012 was not D-Day. D-Day was actually mid-August, because Jagex released the beta mid-August, and that's when you just saw people went ballistic, people went crazy. So EOC was definitely a very negative, terrible reset on this game. Absolutely just terrible. So I really do feel that EOC was the second great reset. Now, you can say, well, what about free trade being removed in early 2000, when was it? 2011, I think free trade was removed, or 2011 or 2010. It really didn't cause people to, leave the game, per se. I'm looking at areas throughout our history on RuneScape where it's caused a negative impact. And EOC was probably worse than the Grand Exchange free trade restriction. I think people probably would have been okay with just the Grand Exchange, but as for like the free trade coinciding with it, like it's one of those things that were linked. But yeah, when Jagex removed the free trade, you saw a flock of people come back. Evolution of Combat, whoa, it was bad. It was really bad. Now, what about RuneScape 3? Obviously, that is, you know, it is coinciding with Evolution of Combat. As for old school RuneScape, is that like a great reset in a way? Old school RuneScape is definitely something that kept RuneScape alive, and I'm so happy that it's I gotta look this up. I think it was who created or who talked to Mod Mark 14 February. Damn, I forget his name. Damn odds. It wasn't So Wrecked. Fat Wrecked? No. I'm getting them confused. Anyways, one RuneScape content creator ended up talking to Mod Mark and said, "Hey, you gotta literally do something to save RuneScape. Otherwise, people are gonna leave, right?" So old school RuneScape was a positive thing, but was it a great reset in a way? 2007, RuneScape 2007. No, in my opinion, it really wasn't like a great reset that pretty much like happened. It wasn't like Evolution of Combat. It was such a positive thing. My views went up like crazy. Not to mention RuneScape 2007, which is now old school RuneScape. It ended up turning into a very big platform for streamers out there. Now, as we keep fast forwarding throughout the years, 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, oh, it's been so many years. 21, 22, 23, 24, here we are. There really hasn't been anything too crazy. I mean, the old school RuneScape team is doing a great job. The RS3 team is releasing so many new like so much content. It's really, you know, great and stuff. You don't really see one of those like it just from ever since we got over that hump of Evolution of Combat, like everyone at Jagex, in my opinion, said, "Hey, we can no longer do this stuff. Like, we hurt the game when we put on the free trade. We hurt the game with Evolution of Combat. We cannot like hurt the game again. We got to go into like smooth sailing, just like straight smooth sailing, right? Smooth sailing, all about it. It's good." But what could be a potential reset that could happen in the future? Because RuneScape 3 is moving to all 120s, and that's really like not bad. It's about time that RuneScape 3 actually goes into the route that all the skills are actually like 120. And over the years, we have gotten so many great things. I mean, just looking on like the RuneScape like main page, it is insane for like the growth. Absolutely just like utterly just insane for the amount of growth that has happened over the years. Over 320 million RuneScape accounts created. Obviously, not 320 million people play this game. But it's utterly just like shocking to see RuneScape grow over the years in such a positive and great way. What is going on? Where did my webcam go to? Hang on. What is going on? Where am I? Why can I not see myself? Ah! For some reason, I think I just broke my own screen. Ah! I hate it when this happens. Hate it when this happens. Hang on. Ah, there I am. Okay. Why is this thing... Ah, there we go. Anyways, like I was saying, so much has happened with the RuneScape site over the years. RuneScape has just grown to such an amazing community, right? And there is no reason to really, like, shake the boat. But what could be coming in the future for old school RuneScape that may or may not shake the boat? Hypothetically speaking. Hypothetically. Not saying that it will, but let's talk about a hypothetical scenario. Well, one scenario that could really reset the game of old school RuneScape is really starting to do things. And so the remainder portion of this podcast, by the way, the old school RuneScape team has never said any of this stuff. We're just talking hypotheticals, right? But you see, we got to talk hypotheticals, because if you don't talk hypotheticals and if you don't think about this stuff, then it kind of repeats it. Then, I mean, you know, you got to be vocal. The old school RuneScape team is very interacting with the old school RuneScape community. One, by voting. We got to decide what the new skill on old school RuneScape was. That is amazing, and that is awesome. We get to decide on a lot of different things. There will be polls like you cannot imagine. But what if somehow, in some way, Jagex had a whole bunch of investors, or someone bought Jagex with a boatload of money, kind of like a bunch of investors were pushing Jagex to make the Squeal of Fortune. 2012, when the Squeal of Fortune came out before EOC, and Jagex was moving to microtransactions, what ended up happening was that it was the cause, because a whole bunch of investors were pushing Jagex to really harp on microtransactions. So you got to really think about, well, what if hypothetically the same thing ended up happening, where you had some big entity out there buy Jagex, buy RuneScape, right? And they're like, hey, we need old school RuneScape to now be microtransactions. Well, obviously voting does not come into play. That would be like a great reset. I don't believe that every 120 on RS3 is going to be like, it's going to really impact the game. I think it's a positive thing. It keeps people motivated. I personally think that Jagex should just say, hey, screw it. We're gonna make everything. What is going on? Screen is winging out a little bit. We're gonna make. We're going to make everything 120. We're not going to do 110. I think even raising the bar to 120s for every skill, it's really not going to affect the game. The amount of people that have EXP, I mean, it's crazy, right? EXP is so easy to gain on RS3. But what if, hypothetically, some entity wanted to really reset old school RuneScape, and they started to do things kind of like, well, RuneScape did years ago. We started to get like double EXP like events on old school RuneScape. Then you slowly notice like other little widgets being added, other little things, and then by the time you know it, boom! Old school RuneScape is new RS3. What would that really do? Well, that would cause the same effect on the game as it did back in 2007 when the free trade and Grand Exchange was installed, back in August of 2012 when the beta came out for EOC. It would cause a massive exodus I really want to go and see Exodus live. Oh, I heard the mosh pits are like, the wall of death is insane. If anyone has ever seen Exodus live, please comment below. I've watched so many videos of their live concerts. It's insane. I've been in 2 Slayer pits, Hatebreed pits, but I've heard Exodus is like the mother of all pits. Plus, I really want to go and see Whitechapel. But then again, Whitechapel is very, a smaller band. Anyways, getting off topic here. Yes, I'm a metalhead. Even though I'm wearing a Darth Vader shirt. Metalhead, nerd, everything. Would that ever happen to old school RuneScape? Who really knows? Like, honestly, guys, this is really one of those things that you really got to, like, take with a grain of salt. I really don't see it ever happening, but then again, I've been wrong, and I'm knocking on wood, because I never want another Exodus to happen on RS3 or old school RuneScape ever again. I love RuneScape, and you wanna know what? It was very unpopular to say that, nerd. Like, over like 20 years ago, if you said you loved RuneScape, you got, like, looked at, like, differently. Well, guess what? The millennials outnumber the boomers. Hell yeah, I'm a millennial. Proud millennial. Get rid of the boomers. We outnumber the boomers. The Gen Z, the Gen Alpha, like our generation of nerdyism has taken over. We outnumber the older generation, including the Gen X, which is like the forgotten generation in a way. So it's no longer bad to really love something you enjoy playing. And it would just be such a bad thing, man. Such a bad thing for any type of, like, major reset on this game. And I'm praying and hoping that it never happens ever again. If anyone from Jagex is watching this, which they're probably not, but still, Jagex employees, in my opinion, are doing a phenomenal job. At one point in our game history, they were not doing a good job. But now they really are. So I'm going to leave this pod on this closing note because I think it really is good. Like I said, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Turn on the notification bell. I love you all. It's Saturday. I'm still working out the details with the HDOS creators. That interview it's time conflicting because there's multiple it's multiple of them that I'm going to be doing for an interview, and it's hard. Everyone's in different time zones, so it's one of those harder type of interviews to plan. But I'm very happy, can't wait to do it, and otherwise, yeah, I love making this stuff for you guys. All right, I'm gonna go and probably get some nourishment now. I need to recharge food. And then I gotta stare at my laptop for the remainder of the day and probably stress my eyeballs out again. Please pray for them. Alright, happy Thursday. See you guys Saturday. Bye.